Hello everyone, and a very warm welcome to another Thought for the Day. This is Monday the 28th of March, and as you can see I'm still standing in for Guy. Now, normal service should be resumed next Monday, so we'll have Guy back, God willing, to speak to us this day week. So I'm sure you're all looking forward to that. Now, I'm sure you're all aware that we are deep into the season of Lent. Lent, of course, being the 40 days run up to Easter week. So as I speak to you just now, Easter Day, Easter Sunday, is just about 3 weeks away. So well into the period of Lent. Now, so much so that just yesterday in church we began a serious focus on Easter, and certainly in our church from now until Easter we'll be focusing on some aspect of the Easter story. Now, I also mentioned just yesterday, in fact I brought this little book with me. I mentioned that many of us use devotional aids just to focus our attention on Easter and what it means to us. And as I said, I recommended this little book. It was gifted to me, so as I said yesterday, the person who gave this to me, you know who you are, so thank you very much indeed. You'll be glad to know that I'm making good use of it and finding it very helpful indeed. If you can't read the writing on the cover, it's called The Journey to the Cross. It's a 40-day Lenten devotional, and it's by an author called Paul David Tripp. It's published by Crossway just last year, so it's bang up to date, pretty topical, pretty modern. So I did share a page from this yesterday in church, and I want to do the same just now. Not the same page, a little bit further into the book. This is actually day 25. It's not the exact day that we're on, but just as I was going through this just caught my attention. And if you're not remembering or focusing on Lent too much, or on Easter too much, or on the run-up to Easter, here's a little snippet, just a paragraph, which will remind you of something about the season of Lent. We seem to think that it's just a time of the year when we give something up, and it's traditional to do that. And some do that, some don't do that, some observe that, and some don't. But it's a wee bit deeper, there's a wee bit more to the Lent season than that. So I'd just like to read these few lines to you, and I quote, "The season of Lent is about offering yourself to God in new or deeper ways. It's about new submission and deeper devotion. Lent is about mourning the ways your heart has wandered. It's about confessing the hold that the world still has on you, or the places where you have succumbed to temptation's draw. It's about identifying places in the heart where you need to give yourself more fully to God. There is a necessary self-focus to Lent because you are examining your heart, your life, your relationships, your daily decisions to see where God is calling you to give something up or take something up in devotion to Him." So Lent is about willing self-sacrifice, if you like. And of course, that's what the Lord Jesus Christ Himself did. He sacrificed Himself for us. So again, He's only asking us to do something akin to what He has already done for us. Now, it made me think there's lots of aspects that we can pause and think about there. But it's just this one aspect that I'd like us to focus in on. In our message yesterday in church, and they are available online as well, a little plug there for our Sunday services. But in one of the messages yesterday, we were talking about that great illustration where Jesus is the vine and we are the branches, and of course we have to stay connected to Jesus if we're to bear fruit for Him. Now, we also mentioned that those who are bearing fruit for the Lord, well, what happens to them? What happens to those branches? Well, they are pruned back. They're They have things stripped away from them to make them produce even more fruit. And of course, as we apply that to ourselves, we know that very often there are things in our lives which need to be stripped away. There are hobbies, there are interests, there are things that take up our time, our attention, our effort, and often an awful lot of our money as well. And where we spend our money and our time and our effort, well, it shows the priority that those things have in our lives. And very often, sadly, for Christians, we spend an inordinate amount of time and effort and money in areas that perhaps aren't just as eternally significant as some of the other areas of our life. So it happens to a lot of Christians, I suppose it should happen to us all, that we have to jettison, we have to have these things pruned away from our lives. And the only reason the Lord wants us to do that is that we will be even more fruitful. We will be able to produce more fruit for Him. If we spend less time doing those things that we are currently doing, it will give us more time to spend with the Lord and to serve the Lord and to study the things of the Lord. Now, all that made me think, because I know in my life I have spent lots of time and put a lot of effort into doing things that I now no longer do. I've been weaned off those things, and it made me think, because I remember what it was like trying to give those things up, or when those things were taken away, how painful it was. And it made me think about them in a different way, because here's things that we think that we don't want to let go, but it's not really that we have a grip on them. It's actually the other way around. Those things that we're involved in, they have a hold on us, they have a grip on us, and they don't want us to escape, as it were, rather than the other way around. I hope you can see what I'm trying to get at there. We think we're holding on tightly to them, and they're actually holding tightly to us. I remember a dear old Christian mentor of mine many years ago in Belfast, and his advice to me as a youngish Christian and a younger man was, no matter what we have in this world, no matter what God gives us and blesses us with, all the material stuff and other things that are in our lives, he says, Ken, hold everything lightly, so that if the Lord does take it away from you, it will be easy to do. You're not holding on to these interests, these hobbies, these whatever it is. You're not holding on to them tightly and really don't want to let them go and have to have them forced or ripped away from you. So have a wee think about that in the Lenten season. Maybe there are things in our lives and we don't realise it, but they are occupying our time and our attention and a lot of our energies as well, even our finances. And perhaps we should think that if we weaned ourselves away from those things, how much more productive would we be in the things of the Lord? Pruned back to produce more fruit, letting some things go, laying aside every weight, the things that slow us down, the things that hold us back, leaving those things aside so that we can do more for the Lord. Surely, as we go into this period of self-examination, and it shouldn't just be at Lent, but throughout the year, we should always have a focus on this process of Christian examination, when we should be looking at our lives and seeing how we can improve them and bring ourselves closer to the Lord for His glory, serving and working for Him, being able to do more while here on earth. It's very easy to get so caught up in doing the things that we like and that we want to and that consume us. It's so easy to get involved in those things that all of a sudden we find they have such a grip on us that we can't seem to let them go. So if there's anything like that in your life, well, We need, through self-examination, through prayer, through getting things in perspective, we should be able to see what we need to jettison with a view to being more helpful, more useful, spending more time with the Lord or doing the things of the Lord and serving Him. So that's the thought. Are you holding on too tightly to things? Are you allowing things to hold too tightly to you? And if so, what prayer do you have to pray to the Lord to lay aside those things and focus on Him? We are looking forward to Easter, and we remember the death and the wonderful resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ. Just stop, pause and think what you have because of what He went through. And let's try our best to do a little more for Him who did so much for us. Okay, that's my thought for the day. So I'll say bye for now. I'll let you think about that, and I'll also let you continue to prepare yourself throughout the season of Lent, with Easter very much on the horizon now, the high point, the pinnacle of the Christian calendar. Thank you very much for listening, and as I said, hopefully this time next week we'll have Guy back in his usual slot. I'll say once again another bye for now.